Hey everybody, so we love our retro classics, we love our arcade classics, and we love discovering those obscure retro hidden gems. YouTube is flooded with content like that. But do you still want more? I have been scouring Steam for novelty games that scratch that arcade itch. And I'm not talking about the obvious modern fighters that we already know about. I am talking about new, retro-inspired games with that pick-up-and-play arcade-style fun, but they don't require endless grinding to unlock the content. And most importantly, they play great with standard 6-button arcade controls with USB encoders. So this video is all about Steam games that play great on arcade machines, so you can have the best of both worlds, retro classics and fun contemporary games that run on low-spec hardware. And I'll let you know if they support co-op. You gotta have co-op for an arcade game, in my opinion. And I'll let you know if I've had any issues. And I know that's a lot of ands, and if you can stick around to the end, we're gonna take a look at some up-and-coming games that I'm excited about, all with playable demos that you can try out yourself. Let's check it out. First on the list is Mighty Goose. So if you miss Metal Slug like me, you'll love Mighty Goose. It's Metal Slug with geese. No, not that geese. It's actually very fun. Just be aware, the co-op is a bit underwhelming. Player 2 controls the companion characters with limited eggs. Yes, that just happened. Limited firepower. And they can't die. So yeah, it might be great for young, inexperienced players to get involved with their first run-and-gun co-op experience, but for those that are a little more experienced, it may be a bit underwhelming. The controls worked great without having to remap or anything. But be aware that the menu system cannot be remapped. It's hard-coded to the L and R buttons or the keyboard. So you may have to bust out a keyboard or a Stream Deck. You can check out my video that I showed on how to use a Stream Deck. Or if you're fortunate enough to have an encoder that has a shift function that you can map to something else. If you have none of these, check out this other video here on how to add a shift function using software regardless of the encoder that you're using. It might help you out. Next is Aces of the Lutwaffa. It is a fun shooter that lends itself well to the arcade shared screen co-op. With lots of story, the only thing I didn't like is the constant interruption of story elements.
I'm sorry, my head is spinning. Time out.
Oh, sweetie, I thought you got rid of your fear of heights quite a while ago.
I like story, but the constant interruption may be off-putting for some. The controls worked really well though, and if you are a fan of Capcom's 1940 series, you will definitely have a great time with this one. Broforce. You probably all know about this one. It's been around for a while. It is a blast. I was surprised how well it played on the sticks. It did use all 6 buttons though, but it translated great to the arcade. It even has an arcade mode. It's been out for years and there's still plenty of bros online to bro it out with. It's easy to remap if you need to, so definitely check this one out if you haven't. Bud Spencer and Terence Hill. It is a great co-op and it's pretty entertaining. Easy controls, they worked perfectly on default. There's this weird menu that shows up with the keyboard, but then when you launch it, it shows the gamepad. Just ignore it, it works fine. If you do need to remap it, you can remap it outside of the game with the profiler. That being said, the defaults was perfect. It's fun to play solo and it's fun to play co-op. You can switch characters on the fly on the solo mode, and the AI actually isn't horrible. Bug Butcher. Similar to Buster Bros on the arcade, but with waves of bouncing bugs. Simple controls, worked perfectly on the first boot. Co-op is great as both players can revive each other, and it's a fun, quick pick-up-and-play game, and I highly recommend it. I don't normally like these kind of wave games, but I kept coming back to it. It's really fun. Bullet Soul Infinite Burst. It has this wacky menu when it launches, but other than that, it worked great with arcade controls. You will need a keyboard or a Stream Deck or some way to hit the enter key each time you launch the game. You literally just have to hit enter to confirm on launch. But after that, you'll be thrown into a fun, aggressive shooter that plays great with a second player. Jamestown Plus. So this is really fun. I loved the pixel art style in this one. It really nails that retro arcade feel with some CRT effects, if you like that sort of thing. Easy, intuitive controls, the co-op works really well. There's a bit of grinding for more ships and some more content with the in-game currency, but aside from that, it is a great co-op shooter for your cab. Hunt Down. So this is a classic arcade 2D action with a Blade Runner, Snatcher, 80s sci-fi feel. Feels great with easy to configure controls. The co-op is easy to drop in and out. There's a story and an arcade mode. This is definitely one to check out. Mayhem Brawler. It is a good-looking beat-em-up with some cool story elements. It worked pretty well with the controllers, but the menu navigation was a bit weird. Not deal-breaking, just a little funky. I would hold off on this one unless you've already played through every other beat-em-up and you are looking for more beat-em-ups to play. Okinawa Rush. Now this game is epic. You feel it in this game. I mean, just listen to that anguish. Oh man, I mean, you just want to get revenge after all that. This is everything that I want in a game on my cab. It has amazing music. It's simple controls, but it gets deeper as you go along. There's an arcade mode, there's co-op. The controls work perfectly out of the box. Lots of cool effects with the zoom in and stuff. Just get this one now. Just do it. Stare it in. So this is a cool looking retro-inspired rogue-like shmup with a rockin' soundtrack. I don't usually care for the roguelike experience, but something about this game keeps me coming back. It's semi-procedurally generated, so no two runs are the same, yet it all kind of slightly looks similar each time. The controls work great, and this is definitely a lot of fun in those quick bursts, especially in co-op. Blazing Chrome. Another really cool Contra-like run and gun. It has a really cool old school look. The controls worked great on the sticks, and they can be remapped in the game very quickly and easily. Co-op works great, and it is a fun, challenging game, and Contra fans are gonna love it. Super Hydra. It is an old school shmup, kind of like Gradius, but at the same time, it's got its own style. And it has a great co-op mode, and even though I'm terrible at these games, there's just something about it. It just keeps me coming back. Streets of Rage 4, another beat 'em up that needs no introduction. I'm sure you're all familiar with it, but this wouldn't be complete without Streets of Rage 4. It is a blast to play in co-op, and the controls work great. It is a definite must for your cab. TMNT, Shredder's Revenge, another beat 'em up that needs no introduction. It is awesome. The controls work great, and of course, it is not a Turtles game without co-op. And it does exactly that. Everything that makes an arcade beat 'em up great is in this game. It is an absolute must. Fight and Rage. Now, if there's only one Steam beat 'em up on your cab, it needs to be this one. It is great fun with hard-hitting combos, juggles, the best CRT effect I've seen so far out of any of these, and the co-op is an absolute blast. Super Blood Hockey. Now this game wasn't for me, but it might be for you, especially if you're looking for that Blades of Steel feeling, but with cute violence. The controls worked great on the cab, and if you're looking for another head-to-head hockey game, this may be for you. Windjammers 2. Now this game is criminally underrated. I loved the original, and I was able to jump right in on this one, just like the original, but better. This is the ultimate esport title with 1v1 style gameplay. It is fast. It plays like a fighting game. You have to react and psych out and read your opponent, but it plays like Pong or tennis with so many holy crap, did you just see that opportunities in it. You should definitely check it out if you're looking for that head-to-head competition. So to me, it's very important on an arcade cab to have that easy pick up and play co-op shared screen experience, but not all of them are like that. And here are some games that are single player that are still really worth mentioning. Vampire Survivor. You probably all know this one, but I really did a disservice to myself by not getting this earlier. It is an absolute blast, and soon there will be a free co-op update, so when that happens, it will be an absolute must for your cab. It is highly addictive, and the co-op will probably cause a nationwide garlic shortage. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX. I'm not really into Pac-Man that much, but this is a lot of fun. It works great, simple controls, lots of different modes, and it is a trippy take on the Pac-Man experience. Crimson Clover. This is an amazing arcade bullet hell shmup, and I'm terrible at these games, but the arcade style reward system and the mechanics just kept me playing. It is a lot of fun. Aced Breed or Aced Breed. I'm not sure how to say this. If somebody knows, let me know in the comments. But I was shocked how well this played on my cab, and it was a lot of fun to mix it up with my regular arcade sessions. It's kind of a unique game to add into your collection. The controls worked really, really well, and if you're looking for something different, you should definitely check this one out. Supercharged Robot Volkiser. Volkiser. I'm not sure how to say this one either. Okay, I had to add this one because it's just so unique. This is just obnoxious, cheesy 70s Japanese robot fun. It's not very deep, it's extremely short, but it is fun. It does have a menu issue at the launch, but it is a lot of fun. Machine Gun Fury. So it is a single player run and gun, and it reminds me of Commando. It's not a twin stick, so the controls worked great on my cab, and it has this really cool bloom effect on the graphics. And I only played the demo on this because it was extremely challenging for me, but if you are a big fan of Commando and these top-down shooters, you should definitely check this out. So at the time of recording this, these are some soon-to-be released games that fit the arcade cab criteria. They all have playable demos that you can try right now. And please leave a like, a sub, and a share if you've enjoyed this. Let's let the devs know that we want more cab-friendly games like this. Let's show them there is a market here. Bud Spencer and Terence Hill 2. Just like the previous, but better. I love how it zooms out and you can see the wide shot of all the action. I love using both characters to get through different areas. And there's no issues with the controls on this either. There appears to be a bunch of mini games within the levels, and this looks really promising. Although I'm concerned that the mini games may interrupt the normal gameplay a bit, but that remains to be seen. Iron Meat. This could be that Contra-like run and gun game that we have been waiting for. I can't wait for this one. It's got co-op, the controls worked perfectly, you can choose the music, it's got the old style or the new style, and it just plain rocks. Robo 5.0. So this one is a single player, and it totally reminds me of the old school Data East RoboCop. If you missed that RoboCop side-scrolling action, this is definitely worth a look. Stick It to the Stick Man. So this is another single player, but it has these amazing ragdoll physics, yet still very tight controls. You have to fight your way and climb the corporate ladder. It's really funny and entertaining, tons of corporate humor. Simple yet increasingly deep as you go. The moves can upgrade as you go, and it looks like it has a ton of mini games. It plays excellent on the cab, and I can't wait to pick this up when it's released. Toxic Crusaders. So this looks like a really fun co-op beat 'em up. Great voice acting. It felt just like the cartoon, and the controls are really great, really tight. Not a super deep moveset, but this is just the demo at this point, and I'm hoping that there's going to be some good Troma references for the hardcore fans. So there you have it. I hope this has introduced you to some new games to check out, and I'm really hoping that this stirs the pot a little bit and shows a demand for more cab-friendly, pick up and play arcade-style games out there. Please let me know if this has helped you and if you've picked any of these up. And more importantly, please let me know if I've missed anything, because I'm always looking for new games to check out. And I'm hoping to do more videos like this, so thank you so much for watching, sharing, liking, and subscribing. I really appreciate it. Check me out on Twitch, and stay real, stay rad, and stay retro. Thank you.